Hello there, Internet. What do we got today? Well, you already know. You've seen the thumbnail, most likely. But a little preface before we get in there. I really wanted to do this as an unboxing first look, but I just couldn't wait, and I didn't have the opportunity really to do so. With a little baby, sometimes you're not on the schedule. You can just do whatever you want, and I couldn't just wait hours to do this mail call. So we're not doing an unboxing. We're doing a legit first look, not unboxing. But again, we're all about integrity here. We don't lie. We don't phone it in. We do it right, and we do it for real. Before we get into that, we did also just do the giveaway for this on the Daily Fidget. I did a live video where we polished the faces down. Look at how shiny they look at that. So you can check that out. I also dropped a comment to the winner on, and I forget the handle he used now, Vision something maybe, but I dropped a comment. I replied to his comment on that video. So reach out and get in touch with me. YouTube's messaging system really isn't that great. I always struggle with it, but if you message me, hopefully I should be able to get it. You can also, if you are on Facebook, hit me up on Facebook with a message, and we'll find some way to verify that you're who you say you are, and I'll get this shipped out to you. And again, free shipping up to $15 worldwide. So if you live somewhere and it's more than $15 to ship, we'll sort that out. And if I don't hear from you within 48 hours, so we'll say Monday afternoon at some point, maybe Monday night, Tuesday, I'll draw someone else if I haven't heard from you, and we'll go from there. But let's talk about the mail call. So we got two things. We got the WooSah Chakra, so good, and we got the Ternion, the brass, in the copper with brass, with tungsten weights. So let's get into it. Let's first open these guys up. So let's start with the WooSah. Let's start with that WooSah. So WooSah is very special. Why is the WooSah special? Well, it's all family. I know someone sat around and wrote this on there. It's just got a nice, you're part of the family when you get yourself a WooSah. But on top of that, they're also coming out with some really special stuff, right? So it's like having something really nice, handmade, and then all of a sudden getting some really high-end production stuff, but also maintaining that family feel. So we have the Chakra. I got mine in polished. Let's bring the light up a little bit. I got the polished version. They were offering it in brass, so it's amazing that they took the time to reach out to the community, find out what they wanted. If you wanted brass, if you wanted brushed or polished. Really, really cool that you guys did that. On top of that, I feel like I may have been partially responsible for giving them a bit of a nightmare, but they said they were going to be individually serial numbering them. 2 is my favorite number, so having 2 2s is pretty special to me. And they went ahead and did that and got them for everybody, and I don't think they planned on it. I just happened to be like, oh, you've got those serial numbers. And I know they really try to help out the community. I just didn't really think of the chain reaction I might have started when I said, hey, can I get number 22? And then all of a sudden, virtually everybody wanted a specific serial number. So that was pretty, sorry, I wanted to show you the retention. So it was pretty unfortunate for them that I gave them that extra work. I feel bad. So Chris Branch, I'm sorry, but you guys do awesome stuff over there, and I'm sure it's at the end of the day to see everybody happy. I'm sure that makes you happy, right? So the way the bearing is set in here, it's almost flush on this side, and then it's got a little bit of an O-ring, and it's sitting a little deeper, so when you put the buttons on, you do have to put them on a specific way. That does mean, unfortunately, that none of the custom buttons I've had are deep enough to fit in there. So you really need to use these buttons or getting some buttons from them, but they are going to be working on some other buttons. They've got some flat buttons that look really nice. These are their standard, more or less standard aluminum buttons. Do you hear that? You sure don't. They got the 1-drop bearing in here. I'm just gonna call them like I see them, y'all. This is smoother than a Trillium. A lot of the magic and the feel of a spinner comes from the bearing. So having a 1-drop bearing in there, you can expect some smoothness. But there's something with the polish, the precision that this is machined in, the way the bearing's held in there. There's very little up and down play. Now that's to do with the bearing. But this spinner was designed with that bearing in mind, much like I'm sure the Trillium obviously was, but this is just ridiculous. It really is. It also plays with the light so nicely. You get these really cool patterns. It's just a fantastic spinner. Still gets I got about a little over 4 minutes on a table spin, and I think just about 5 minutes on a vertical spin, or just over 5. So it's got really decent spin time. It is an R188 bearing. It is stainless steel. It is polished. It feels amazing, yet it maintains its fidgetability. So it's not just this high-end performance spinner. Sometimes they lose that, right? I've said that about the Ternion. I'll say it again. It's a good spinner. It works if you spin it this way. Any other way, it kind of loses a bit of its fidgetability. It's not necessarily the most fidgetable spinner. It's nice, it's got a nice feel, it's worth the money, it's quality, not to take anything away from this. But if you're getting a spinner to fidget with, this is the one I would take. I'm just calling it like it is. So great, great spinners. Knocking it out of the park. They're really coming in hot, trying to hit up that elite market. Just really offering a fantastic spinner. So it's good on this, it's good on the pole, it's good on here, it's good on the flick. Yeah, look at that. It's nice. It's nice, y'all. Any way you like to spin it. Not a hot spot to be found anywhere. They clearly make fidgeting and handling this in mind when they make these things. I mean, these rounded edges, right? They're not chamfers. They're rounded. They're polished. Really, really sweet. We can't say enough nice things about this. So I've only had it for, I don't know, what, 12 hours? So we're going to spend some more time with it, but I don't think my opinion's going to change. So, but let's show you the weight, and then we'll move on to the next mail call since we're in 6 minutes here. We are at 88.8. Oh, you know what? When this baby hits 88 grams, you're going to see some serious WooSah. There's a little meme that's been going around. Get on the Daily Fidget if you're not. Get on that WooSah page. I can't believe this is 88.8 grams. That just makes me laugh. Let's do it again. You're going to see some serious WooSah. It almost looks like my scale's broken in the in the light here, but that's actually what it is, y'all. So, boom. $70 on the pre-order, $90 retail. I don't know how often they'll be doing discounts at them, but at $90, this is still a bargain. So get yourself a WooSah. Get in on the Kickstarter too. Seriously, get on the Kickstarter. They're going to be offering this as a way to kind of up your pledge after the Kickstarter ends, I believe, to get these. Don't kill me if they did not, but I'm pretty sure that's part of the plan. They've got a boss, which is going to be sort of much similar to this type, where the arms get a little wider, in an R188 style bearing. I don't know if they're going to be using a one drop, but it's sort of their answer to these type of tries as opposed to this fidgetable unibody style try. You can get an Elite, which are normally $45 for $35. You can get the aluminum funds and originals, I believe, for $15. You can up your pledge a little bit, and they'll donate spinners to local charities or schools. Really can't say enough nice things. Get in on that Kickstarter. They're at $6,000. Their goal was $5,000, so it's going to be funded. It's going to be a good deal. Get yourself some WooSah. All right, let's give the WooSah a spin back here so you can see it. Do you hear anything? You don't hear a dang thing. Let's talk about the Ternion. Ternion time, y'all. Comes with this nice little package. One other thing I want to say about this guy, being critical and being honest, the buttons on this when I got it were locked tight. So I don't know how they put the buttons on there when they first get it, but I literally had to use vice grips and a C clamp on the other side because I don't have two vice grips. Use some microfiber just to keep it from scratching the buttons. Then once I got them off, it was fine. Oh, we didn't even talk about this. Sorry, we gotta talk about this. So this card came in it. So at first glance, it's great. It's a little certificate of authenticity. That's a nice little touch. What's really amazing is that third line there. Acknowledgement for your contribution to the growth of this company through amazing feedback and encouragement. So I have given them a lot of good, positive feedback. I think I was one of the first, probably not the first, but one of the first YouTube reviews of a WooSah, calling it the most fidgetable. And I'm really just behind them with everything they do. And I've seen these, and these, from everyone I've seen of these cards, these are all unique and different. So they took the time to think about who they were writing it to, knew who that was, and knew what to write in here as opposed to just putting in some generic stuff. So really, really great work. The community is a reflection of the work that you guys do over there, and you're a reflection of the community behind you. So I know it's both the community and you guys, and really got some good synergy going on in there, hand in hand, skipping along, all that good stuff. So now we're at 9 minutes. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I like rambling. Let's take a look at this bad boy though. So I didn't really know what to expect from this, other than I'd heard I didn't mean to spin it, really great things. The form of it, I wasn't really sure when I first got this, when I first saw these, heard good things, but there was just something about this little thing on the arm here where I just wasn't really sold. For me, it just didn't look like it would either be that comfortable or really work that well. And I was wrong. This is really an amazing spinner. So first thing out of the box, initial impressions, these machining marks they've got in there almost do this little reflective, like cool pattern. It really plays with the light nicely. And then we've got the really nice tungsten weights on the outside, putting some nice weight on it. So it's brass and tungsten, although it's got some cutouts there, and it's not super large, so it's not the heaviest spinner, despite having brass and tungsten weights. The Elite's actually a little bit heavier. This is 85.9, basically 86 grams. Which puts us right in the same range as a Very Dapper, right? 84.7. What else is right in that range? See if you guys have other spinners. I don't know if I have anything else that's really that similar. Maybe this guy I think is in that range, right? No, it's a little bit, about 10 grams more. If you've got yourself a Spinetic X or Y, it's going to be about 20 grams, I think, more than that. Yeah, 65. Just to give you an idea of the weight you're looking at. So this is pretty heavy in the brass. They make it in titanium. They make just about every combination with every combination. So you can get titanium with tungsten. You can get aluminum, I think, with brass. You can get brass with brass. They make checkered patterns. They make all kinds of stuff. So they got a spinner that'll fit your look. So it's got a hybrid ceramic in there. Now out of the box, I was actually getting better spin times out of this. I was getting about 4 minutes on a table spin and about 4.5 vertical, but I haven't cleaned it yet, so it's still going to need a cleaning. But it's got a pretty smooth bearing, so I don't know what's going on. This bearing actually feels pretty smooth, not as smooth as this, but it's still nice. Super fidgetable for this guy though as well. The curves, the angles on the arms just work. These buttons are really nice. It's almost too deep of a cut in here. I don't think it's really an issue, but it almost, like if you're pulling your finger across it, it almost feels kind of sharp, but when you're just holding it, it just gives you really good grip, these steps that are on these buttons. So I'm not 100% sure about the retention method on this either. So what's going on is, it looks like it's got a 608 adapter in it, but this isn't actually a 608 adapter unless it's different. It says rev spin, but there's nothing holding that bearing in. That bearing is either glued in or I'm pretty sure it's glued in. It might be press fit, but I'm pretty sure it's glued in there. But then I don't know if this core is meant to come out, so you can actually take this core out, use it as a 608 core to R88 adapter with a and you just kind of glue the bearing and then glue this guy. And I'm not sure, depending on the spinner you're talking about. But it's nice. Again, it's a hybrid ceramic. You can't really see because it's got the stainless steel shields, but if you really look just on the edge of the balls, you'll see they're black balls. We'll put the cat back on there. Now, the one thing, I'll be honest, a couple of little disappointing things with this guy as well, right? We're keeping it honest, keeping it critical. Super fidgetable, feels nice, but finishing-wise, there are a couple things that I think could, for the price, this is a $200 spinner. I got it 30% off, so I got $60 off. So that's still a good deal. For once you start spending that much money, that's some serious loot, and you kind of expect it to be perfect. So when you're looking at the machining marks on here, these clearly are machining finishes, but they're done in such a way that make a fun pattern. So I dig that. It's almost like a hologram or holographic, foil card, if you ever collected those. There's the two issues I have are one with the tungsten weight. So on this side, see how it's a nice round finishing, and then on this side, they're just sanded off. I don't know what happened there, why they're sanded off on one side and why they've got this nice effect on the other side. I really wish they were the same, but if they're going to be one, this is definitely a nicer finish, I think, than this. But having them different on the different sides, I'm not sure what's going on with the way that was done. So that is a drawback, if you're asking me, especially when you're spending $200 on one of these guys. But again, I don't know enough about where these come from, how this is done, and tungsten's a super hard material to work with. The tools you work with are made of tungsten. So it's like, in order to cut a diamond, you got to cut a diamond, right? Like there's hard stuff to work with. So I don't know enough about the machining process to say, but they're not also giant weights, right? So this is a brass spinner essentially with tungsten weights. So a lot of this brass is easy to work with in machine. So and I believe they say stainless steel buttons on the one with the tungsten and titanium buttons on the all brass, maybe something like that. But and then the other thing, and I don't know if I'll be able to find it in here. I'm gonna try. It's so minor, but at the same time, it's one of those things that I'm going to have to take the time to fix. So this is a little bit of it here, and it's really hard to see, but on the arm, on the brass, these edges here are a little sharp, which is fine because you don't really feel them, but on one of them, there's like a little nick in the brass. I don't know if that was putting the tungsten in, and it feels kind of rough on your finger. So when you're spinning it, sometimes you'll catch it and it'll be just this one little rough spot. And again, we're getting nitpicky, but when you spend $200 on a spinner, you get to be that nitpicky. You expect it to be flawless. So it's pretty good. It is a fantastic spinner. It's very fidgetable. It's got like the perfect weight for me. It's great for my style of flicks. Like this spot holds my finger perfect. Again, I like to do that preloaded flick, lateral pressure, boom, boom. It's easy to stop where you want it all day. But I can flick it, I can pull it, push it. And again, no hot spots to be found. The only hot spot, you know, is that issue that you don't hit often enough. I barely hit it. I actually thought it was, you know, something maybe even stuck in there. I wasn't sure. But like these edges are all, so they're chamfered, but I don't know if they're also rounded a little bit or it's just a rounded chamfer, how that's machined, but really machined nicely. Really nice spinner. I want to clean this guy out. I think she's capable of much longer spin times. We've got these hollowed arms here, and we've got the tungsten weights for some extra mass on the outside. So this guy should be getting some real serious spin times, but it is also a hybrid ceramic. So we'll have to get it. We'll have to get that bearing broken in. We're also talking, hey, we've got all that weight on the outside, especially on a nice two-handed spin. There's a really good gyro. The hybrid ceramic bearing gives you a little bit of vibration in your fingers, especially when you're turning it. But it's got a really cool light effect from that sort of like prism hologram kind of thing going on. Really good gyro, really nice spinner. Completely different than this guy. We're talking two different beasts here. Fabulous mail call, but we got two different beasts. You know, this is the I don't know what the analogy is. I want to make like a car analogy, and I kind of feel like this is the aggressive muscle car, but I also kind of think that in some ways this is sort of like a precision machine. This, you know what? This is like your Jaguar, right? This has got like the nice curves, right? Still got a nice engine. You can still have a V8 in there if you want, but this is like a nice, smooth, maybe even more like a Mercedes. Maybe a Mercedes is a better, because a Jaguar, I don't know if they're necessarily the smoothest rides where you think of Mercedes, isn't it? Like Maybach. Maybe this is the Maybach. Something like that, but you get where I'm going. This is the luxury coupe, I'd call it. Maybe a luxury sedan. Where this is definitely more like your, I don't even want to call it like a Ferrari, but I don't want to necessarily call it a muscle car, but you get a little feeling, you get a little vibration, you know you got something in your hand, but you still can drive it, you know? You know what I'm saying? So. But, you know, it's got some nice curves, right? So it's not just like some American muscle car. It's got some style, but I don't know if we're talking like the same sort of precision. Maybe like an Aston Martin. Maybe that's a good analogy, right? Those are some like big muscly beasts, but they've got some style. Yeah, this is an Aston Martin. This is a Maybach. How's that? And it just depends on what you're after. So can both endorse both of these. Again, if I had to pick the two, especially at the price point, this, when I got it for 70, you know, let's talk about the price I paid, 70, 140. This is definitely not twice as spinner as this. They're very comparable in a lot of ways. I would put them on the same sort of quality scale. But just, again, different beasts. We're going on way too long. I like talking. I like showing things. I know you guys like to see things spinning. I think the people that subscribe to my channel and stick around are there because they like who I am and what I say and how I do things. So hopefully you won't mind too much that this is going on long. But I had a lot to say, and these are nice spinners, and get on board. So I'll put some links down below. I think any future contests and stuff that I want to do, I'm not so interested in promoting my channel as I am giving back to the community, and I like what's going on in the Daily Fidget. So any future contests that I do, I appreciate everybody that commented below. I appreciate everybody that has commented on my videos since and subscribed and likes what I do. We want to get over to the Daily Fidget to do things. I know not everybody has Facebook, and sorry about that if you don't, but I just don't spend enough time on Instagram or Twitter to really put up anything anywhere else, and the Daily Fidget is where it's at. So as my case there gets fuller, I'm going to start making room. So I think I'm going to customize this guy a little bit since I have two Secret Services. We're going to give this guy away over in the Daily Fidget at some point. I kind of like this, but I'm realizing that with everything else in my case, I just bought this, and it's a decent little spinner. It's got a nice feel to it, spins good, but it doesn't have room. We're going to be giving that away. We've got at least 3 or 4 other giveaways. I'm not sure what the timing on those is going to be, but we're going to do that over in the Daily Fidget. So get yourself over there if you're not already. I don't know if I've got anything else to say. I'm sure I'm leaving something out, but we'll just leave with a peace.